Hi, this is Mrs. Grosland. This is a video for Unit 2, Lesson 3, Place Value Patterns. Our learning target is that I can read and write numbers to the millions place in standard, expanded, and word forms. All right, please grab your textbook and open it to page 82. Have your pencil handy, and if you have a place value chart, that might come in handy too. All right, here's what we're going to do first. We are going to learn to read and write numbers in expanded form. We're starting out with the toughest first. Now it's going to be very similar to what we did when we were using decimals. Okay, so you remember, let's talk about how you'd say this number 1 first of all. So 42,768. So we're going to take each digit one by one and we're going to write them all by themselves. So we'll start with the left side. We're going to start with the 4, and the 4 is in the 10,000s. So if you had 4 10,000s, you would have 40,000. Plus, now we're going to move to the 2. So the 2 is right here. The 2 is in the thousands place, and we're going to write that as 2,000, leaving all the other numbers off. So we left off the 40,000 and we left off the 768. All right, let's switch to the next number. The next number is the 7, and the 7 is in the hundreds place. 7 hundredths is 700, written like that. So we're writing the 700 all by itself. Next up is the 6, 60. And then what's left? The 8. So we're writing each digit all by itself. I'd like for you to try number 3. So I'm going to say it for you first of all, and then you've got to write each digit all by itself. 305,763. Expanded form. Ready, set, go. All right, I didn't tell you to pause there. I hope you did. So here's your answer. 300,000 plus 5,000 plus 700 plus 60 plus 3. Now, if you put zeros in for the 10,000s, that's okay. It just looks a little bit odd. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the next section. The next section, now they've given it to us in expanded form, and they want us to write the number in standard form. Standard form is just your regular old normal number. Okay? Now, for me, I find it confusing sometimes because sometimes they leave numbers out. Like in number 3 up above, there was a 0 there. And if you just looked at the numbers over on this side, you might not have realized that there was a 0 in the middle there, and you could get off a little bit. So my tip for you is to kind of draw lines or blanks where you're going to put a number. And they always start out by giving you the biggest number. So 60,000, I'm going to start with my 6, and then look how many zeros are after it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know I've got to have 4 numbers after it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's a good idea to put a comma in every 3 numbers. So 1, 2, 3, whoop, there we go. Okay, now it becomes a little easier to place the numbers in, and if you don't have a number in a blank, you know that you're going to fill that in with a 0. All right, so 4,000, easy peasy. This is the thousands place. You remember you've got ones, tens, hundreds, 1,000s, 10,000s. If we were to continue going, 100,000s. All right, 200 is my next number, and you could even check these off as you do them. 200, put a 2 in the hundreds place, put a 1 in the tens, and a 7 right there. 64,217. All right, let's do a hard one together. I'd like to do this one down here. I see a huge number there, and that just scares me a little bit. All right, so we've got 50 million plus 2 million plus 400 plus 80. Seems like we should have a whole lot more numbers if we've got 50 million. But I'm going to start with the 50 million, like that. That would be where the 0 would go. And then I'm going to make my lines. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to have 7 lines after it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So 50 million. I got that one. 2 million. 2 million's going to go here. 400. Wow, this is the thousands in through here. I know we don't have any thousands. So 400. 80 would go there, and there's no ones. So all these other lines here and here and here and here, those would all be zeros. All right, I want you to pause the recording and I want you to try number 7. Well, how did you do? The correct answer is 1,303,019. Let's skip down to number 11, and I'm going to have you try a practice on that one too. This number 11 right here. I'm going to help you get started. So this is the ones family, this is the thousands family, or group I guess you could call it, and this is the millions family. So our biggest number is way over here. It's 200 million. So I'm going to put a 2 down there. And then I'm going to draw little lines for myself. There's the millions. Here's the thousands. Here's the ones. So again, if you wanted to count the spaces, I've got the 2 already. You need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 lines. So set yours up just like mine. Pause it and fill in the rest of the numbers. All right, this is what I started out with. Now you just add zeros in those empty spots. My pen is really noisy, I'm sorry. So your answer is 200,003,086. One more. Try number 12. There you go. 7,500,001. All right. Last thing we've got here is to read and write each number in standard form. So now they gave us the word form. Oh, and up in these other ones, we were supposed to write the words down. I think if you can say it, that's probably fine. We're not going to take the time to write those out in words. Number 13, 78,105,000. Pause the recording, write that one in. I think you probably came up with one of 2 answers, either this one right here or this one right here. So look carefully, 78 million. This number down here, that's not millions, that's 78,000. So if this was your answer, you skipped the whole thousands. They didn't give us any thousands in the problem up here. So it would be 78,105,000. Turn your page to page 83. And now that you're really good at writing numbers in standard and word and expanded form, we're going to put them in order from least to greatest. So that's what they mean by comparing and ordering numbers, just putting them in order, usually from least to greatest. All right, so we're looking at a map of a population of different cities across the United States. And look, we got Hennepin right there, Hennepin, Minnesota. These are counties, sorry, not cities. Hennepin's a county. It says, write the names of the counties in order from the least to the greatest. Now, you remember when we were doing decimals, we worked from left to right. So we're going to do that same thing here. They have these lined up very neatly. They have all the ones in line with the tens and the hundreds. Just like we read a book, we're going to go from left to right. Okay, and we're going to find the smallest one first. Well, as you look down the list, this one has 1 million, 1 million, 1 million. Montgomery, Pennsylvania doesn't have anything in the millions. So that's going to be the smallest one. So I'm just going to put the state's abbreviation here. And then if you want to, you can cross it off so that we know we've already done it. All right, now we mentioned that all the other ones have a 1 in the millions. So let's go next door. Let's go to the 100,000s. We've got 0, 1, and 2. How about that? That's in order, isn't it? 0, 1, 2. So Missouri would be next, and then Virginia, and then Minnesota. All right. Which counties, let's go on to number 17. Which counties have a population greater than 10 million? Okay, well, let's figure out where the 10 millions place would be. So I think this is a really strange question because if you look at your numbers, this is 1 million. 10 million would be out over here. Let me get my pen going here. 10 million would be out over here. None of them are close to 10 million. So I think that was a goofy question by the textbook company. I wonder if they meant to ask something else. Number 18 we can answer. Which county's population is closest to 1 million? So I'm going to write 1 million to the side. All right, so there's 1 million. Which of those would be closest to 1 million? Go ahead and write your answer down at number 18 right here. I'm hoping you said St. Louis, Missouri, because that one has a 0 here. It's closest to this one. You know, you could make a case for this one. If this one were closer to 999,000, then I probably would say that one, but this one's pretty far off too. All right, a manufacturing company produces 4 different types of shoes. The numbers of pairs of each style that was produced is shown in the table at right. Order them from greatest to least. So how am I trying to trick us here? Greatest to least. Okay, so look over there. Right now, I want you to write the letter down of the one that you think is the biggest. Now, if you're like me, I really just glanced at the first 3 numbers. 245, 181, 196, 268. And I know that 268 is the biggest of those. And then, after that, there's another one with a 2 in it. 245 would be style A. And then 196 is bigger than 181, C, and B. So you can use those families out on the left side, the 100,000s in this case, to help you figure it out. Now, the company's goal is to produce 250,000 pairs of style A shoes. Did the company achieve its goal? Why or why not? So you have to think about 1/4 of a million. 1/4 of a million. Well, you remember 1/4 is 25%. Okay, 1/4 of a million, you divide 1 million by 4. You could think of it this way too. It's actually going to be 250,000. You might hear about somebody's houses for sale for 250,000. It's 250,000. So which one of those would be? So sorry. Did they make it to 250,000? No, they were short. All right, I think that you probably are ready to do your exit ticket. So good luck. Let your teacher know if you get stuck.